Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
We are the
therapist.
most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course.
I'm all
Bob.
happy today. The Vikings won last night, so your Packers won too, so we're all happy, right?
It happens.
It happens rarely. All right, today we're going to talk about a simple way to tape and stretch your foot for plantar fasciitis. Typically, Brad, with taping of a foot, they use the low dye taping technique.
Sure.
It's podiatrists. It's pretty common among
First
them.
thing I learned out of school is low dye. I remember it from 20 years ago.
And I thought, what is dye? Is it? I mean, the tape doesn't have dye in it or something, but it's named after Ralph Dye, a podiatrist, and he used it for a foot that had excessive pronation, which is the flattening of the foot.
Right. Flat
we can
foot.
actually show that here, can't we, Brad?
I've got a little bit of it, but we'll see what we can do. So we're looking at the arch here. Lonnie, can you zoom in on that? So this would be the pronation motion right there. When this flattens out, mine doesn't go totally flat, but some people go here and they'll get completely flat right across the foot.
And that's what's putting stretch on the plantar fascia. Do you want to show that, Brad?
Oh, sure. Look at this.
We actually marked up his foot in
Yep.
sacrifice.
So the black lines represent the area or the location of plantar fascia connecting up from here down into the heel. And this red mark right here is a really common spot where if I have a patient, I'll push right in there and they'll say, don't do that because it's pretty tender. It kind of send you through the roof if you push too hard. So gently I push there and find out if that is the spot.
And also I want to point out, Brad, this fascia tends to kind of intermingle with the tendons here.
Right.
And so we're also going to be stretching these toes because that stretches the fascia also. And we also, it all kind of forms one chain here.
Exactly.
You know, so we're going to stretch the calf muscle too eventually to show how that can be helpful.
Right. It's kind of like when I was taught, a teacher says, imagine a piece of duct tape from here, from your toes, all the way around your heel, all the way up to the back of your knee, because all those tissues are inherently connected to each other.
Some way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brad, before we go any further, let's take care of our housekeeping.
Yes,
I see
please.
we have a couple new people here. We're going to encourage you to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, if you haven't yet, please go over to Facebook and like us. Brad and I have a deep desire to be liked, and you can help fulfill that desire.
Right, like us, we like to be liked.
Okay.
The big like.
So I did do the studies on this, Brad. I looked up on PubMedication or PubMed, and not medication, PubMedical, and I found that there were a lot of studies that showed that there is a lot of benefit to doing the low dye taping technique.
Sure.
The problem is, again, this is something that's very difficult to do. So basically what we have today is a company that has simplified this process, and they call it Quick Tape.
Okay.
And it's distributed by E-Trode. And we're going to demonstrate how to go ahead. They got a couple sizes. They probably have many more sizes than that. They sent us 2 sizes.
Sure.
I'll talk about those on this next section. But we're going to go ahead and show right now how easy it is to put this tape on. It's something you could do yourself. And then we'll finish after that with some stretches.
Right. Yeah. Like you said, the low dye taping, it takes some practice. You got to do it a few times. You really, it's hard. You can't do it to yourself very easily at all. You have to do it to another person. So.
And that means a visit to your podiatrist or therapist every time.
Right.
So.
Right.
All right. Okay, we're going to now demonstrate how to put the quick tape on. And we've got 2 sizes here. One is the standard size, which is men up to 11 and women up to 13. And then we have the large size, which is men up to 12 and women 14 and over. So, Brad, your size 10?
Yeah, I'm going to be this size.
So, and you can see we got it labeled, Brad, B, C, A, D, E. So you're going to start off by first making sure your foot is clean and dry, which I think we're as close as we can with your feet, huh, Brad?
Well, it's always a question, but we'll take a chance.
Okay, so now remove the backing from D, A, D, and E.
So that's this whole section here.
So you're going to do it on this one, or you want to do it on this one?
Well, so you want to keep the letters on there?
Keep the letters on there. So
I see what you're saying.
you got to be real careful. And like anything, you got to be real careful on this because the tape wants to stick to itself sometimes. Now the next key step is placement of the foot. And he's going to go 4 foot down first.
Okay.
And you're going to have this line. This is the big knuckle of the foot, and or the first metatarsal is what it is.
Sure.
Right ahead of the first metatarsal. And right behind that, this line right here should line up with this right here. Boy, my finger sticks to it just by doing it, doesn't it?
You don't have to draw a line on your foot. We have
No.
that for
For our purpose.
demonstration, so you can see.
Yeah, it goes 4 foot first, lines it up.
Get the heel so it lines back with that.
Yep.
So you can position here where it's not sticky. There we go.
And now you're going to go ahead and remove the backing from B and C. B and C. Yep.
There. In
Now,
there.
while stepping down on A, which you are doing,
Yep.
snugly wrap the sections B and C straight across the top of the foot, one overlapping the other. Be careful not to stretch or angle these sections. And then rub all sides to activate it, the adhesive. Okay. Now this is key where, yeah, you may have to even sit down on this part, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do is he's going to point his foot down and point his toe down at the same time.
All right, so I'm going this way.
You got that, Lonnie? And while he's doing that, he's going to pull on, wrap sections D and E around the back of the heel bone, one overlapping each other. Do not wrap any higher than the heel bone. You don't want to get up into the Achilles tendon, which is right here. You want to stay down on the heel as much as you can. Then again, activate the adhesive by wrapping through the entire foot.
Yep, I'm gonna rub on it. Be careful of the edges so you don't peel an edge back. Get all the way around.
And there we go.
Yep.
Okay, so that was the demonstration, and what they recommend at Quick Tape, I can say it, is that you can leave the tape on for 2 to 5 days.
Sure.
It is water resistant, so you can shower with it, and you know they have a program where you can actually leave it on 24/7 for 8 weeks. Now, I'm going to also suggest an alternative to this, Brad, because
Sure.
you and I have worked with tape before.
Right.
And I've worked with tape on knees, and what I find is a lot of people react to tape. Even if they don't react the first day, or maybe even the first week, maybe not even the second week, the third week sometimes they start to react
Yeah,
to
if you
it.
leave it on all the time like that,
Constantly,
yeah,
yeah.
your skin's not getting any air. It gets sweaty. There's all kinds of things going on.
Yeah, so, and you know, if your skin breaks out once, like if you have the tape on and it starts itching, you got to take it off.
Right.
You can't leave it on.
Right.
And you can use alcohol and stuff to help clear the tape away.
Sure.
So as an alternative, what you might try is I would put the tape on for 2 days, and then I would cut it off. Now you could leave it on that night and cut it off in the morning, and then you can do some of these stretches, because I think these stretches are also very helpful to recovering from plantar fasciitis. In
Sure.
fact, they did one study where they showed that people that did these stretches, Brad, like 80% recovered within 6 weeks if they did these stretches alone.
Sure.
So the stretches are important, the taping is important, another alternative would be to wear a boot at night. There is
Okay.
those plantar
Night
fascia,
splint?
a night splint.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And what that does, I'm sorry we don't have one here today. One's borrowed out to my son. You have the other ones at your clinic, or
Right.
the other clinic. But it's a boot that helps pull the toe, towards you a little bit all night long. So it would do this. It would take the place of the tape at night.
Right. If you look up night splints, you can see it.
I'll put it in our Amazon preferred list.
Right.
Brad,
We
so,
do have a video on just how to use a night splint as well.
Right. So I would do the stretches in the morning, and then I would tape it, and then you're good for the next 2 days again.
Sure.
So these are the stretches you're going to want to do. You're going to start off with, and again, you can start with this in bed, or you can do this right off the bed, but and you don't really even have to have your shoe off, or sock off. But the first one, you're going to go ahead and grab the bottom of the foot like this. I'm going to stretch all the toes. So I'm pulling all the toes this way, and I'm also stretching the plantar fascia a little bit. I'm pulling on this way.
So it looks like
So I'm
this
pulling
from
the
the
foot
front.
this way. And you can do it a number of ways. You can do just continuous pressure, or you can do pressure on, pressure off, pressure on, pressure off. A little bit of both, and then give it a good long stretch. And I'll show you some other variations of this. If you're sitting down, one way to do this is to actually just put your foot back like this, and then you can kind of lean forward like this, and now get into a stretch like this.
Here, let's put a towel there.
Yeah, thank
you.
you.
can see that a little bit better. And then you can slide your foot there.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Sure, and it's a little more comfortable.
We'll call that the Heineck technique.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to come up with some technique that we can be named after. I mean, they got the low dye taping technique.
Right, yeah. So
And why can't we have the Heineck technique? So that's a towel underneath the foot, and you're going to slide it back, and you can stretch it really well.
Yeah, right here. Good. Same stretch as with the hand. It's just another way to go after it.
Bring that towel up here too, Brad, because you
Sure.
can also do it this way. I'm going to get on this side if you don't mind. So you can also put your foot like this and stretch it like this. And again, that towel kind of works to slide a little bit. But now I'm looking at this, I'm getting up on my foot like this, and here's a good long stretch. Don't have to use your hands at all. Got to be a little mobile for this, don't you, Brad?
Right, yeah. You know, if you're a little tight, if you're elderly, this may not be an option.
Okay, next one, Brad. We're going to go ahead, because like Brad talked about how this is all one unit going all the way up to the calf. We need to stretch the calf too, and Brad's going to demonstrate how to do that.
You don't have to have an incline board, but they work much better, I've found. You put your foot on here, and I stretch like this. I can do it with my bare foot so you can see what's going on underneath the clothing. Stretch here, and I'm going to keep the knee locked out straight and lean forward and get a stretch right here. And also I'm going to bend the knee and stretch it that way as well, so we get a deeper muscle, get the soleus muscle there as well. We're going to hold these stretches 15 to 30 seconds, or you can go stretch on, stretch off, and do that good 10 times.
Now you can do this without the incline board too,
Yeah.
right, Brad? You can do it behind a chair, or
Like this.
the one where you see people look like they're pushing a wall over.
Sure.
So
And
Yeah.
that does work. It's a little harder. It doesn't do quite as good a job as the incline board, but it's still, you can do it anywhere.
So you can do the stretches, and you can even do, we're going to throw one more little thing in here. You can actually do what we call a little bit of a spline massage. So you're going to take your two thumbs like this together, and you're going to pull them apart.
Sure.
So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to pull them apart like this, and that's going to help stretch that band too. And if it's too painful in this area, stay away from it.
Right.
Work
Right.
around it. But so these are two things you could do in bed. You could stretch like this, and you could do the massage.
Right.
And then you could go ahead and tape it, and you're ready for the day.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's
if you
another
want to add,
alternative.
if you want to add some of the other stretches in, you're welcome to do that too. But get things stretched out, loosened up, get the tape on so it's supporting it all day long, and then you can do that, like you said, a couple days. If the tape's coming off for whatever reason,
Then you got to retape.
yeah, retape, and it gives you another chance to stretch anyway. So
Right.
it's not the worst thing in the world by any
So
chance.
we'll put a link below for where you can get the tape, and we also have the link below on our products that we prefer
Sure.
and that we love. So you may want to take a look at that too. So
All right.
thanks for watching.